All right, we're going to make a wreath out of the stickweed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off in hunter green ink, and to simply block out the wreath I'm going to stamp 8 stickweeds to get the heart shape. Move my hand in a minute. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At this point it's pretty blocky and choppy. What you'll do is start taking your stickweed, this one goes this way, I'm going to turn it around and go back on top of it the opposite direction, crisscrossing the angles, filling it in. As I go back up the other side, crisscross that angle, back down that way. Let's see, one more right here, and you can get it as full and thick as you want. And again, I'm stamping in hunter green ink, and to clean off my stamp I'm just going to stamp it off on a paper towel with water. And then to add flowers I'm going to use a rainbow ink pad. There's one right here, and I'm going to start off with this little poinsettia stubby. Stamp it in, and instead of just stamping it once I'm going to pick it up and turn it around and stamp it. I'm not putting it down and twisting it, I'm actually picking it up and turning, stamping it off as I go. And if you've ever decorated a dried flower arrangement, you put clusters of flowers. You don't put a flower every ½ inch or 2 inches around the wreath because it will get too heavy and overwhelming. So I'm going to stamp a couple flowers down here. And a good rule of thumb is if you think you need to add one more but can't decide where to put it, don't add it, because it'll probably be one more than you actually want. Clean that stamp off. And then to help pull the color around the wreath, I'm going to use this little stick flower, and I know my stamps are kind of grubby, but there are show demo stamps, so they get a lot of love and wear. Stamp it off in blue couple times. That helps the color get pulled around the wreath without overwhelming it. And put one over here. Clean it off. And I'm going to grab my carved leaf. Add some carved leaves in there. And you can add, if you're doing this on a card and want to add some accents to the inside, take a separate flower and add a leaf to the inside of your card. Over there. And not every flower has to have a leaf, and not every leaf has to have a flower. Let me put one more there. Clean that one off, and then I'm going to go in with my dots stamp. Dots add background, sort of that baby's breath look, or if you're like me and have allergies, pollens in the spring that make you sneeze. And I'm going to take my dots and just lightly tap them around. I'm not taking my dots and doing that. That gets to be blobs around the wreath. We just want softness. So I'm going to take and stamp them around in blue, light touch. And you have your wreath. But now that I told you to do them softly, I'm going to show you another use for them. I'll put it right over here. You take and blob them down, using multiple colors. So I have this fun little blob. Go back in with my carved leaf, and I have a fun little hydrangea. And then one more thing, shift this down. I'm going to take the same carved leaf and stamp it around in a circle. And the best thing to do when stamping this is don't think about it too much. It's easier to do if you're not trying too hard. Clean that stamp off, go back in with the same stamp, and you get poinsettia. And then one more thing. Take it, same leaf, stack them up a little bit, like that. I'm going to grab a pen, that down. Put some dirt ground underneath it. Go back in with my little solid flower I used earlier. Add some flowers. Go back in with my pen. Put a few little prickles. And you have a fun cactus. And if you want one more thing with that leaf, let's see, where will we put it? Put it up here at the top. Take 2 leaves, put them together, add a little body, some antenna, a little trail, and you have a butterfly.